What is how legendary? Legendary. Some would say imaginary legendary, but I'll say legendary.
I would like to say what the kids say, epic.
Epic. The bombastic
epic.
Halloween episode.
It is.
Why did we pick Halloween to be so epic and imaginary? And you fucking even changed up the intro from Clef Style, which is badass. I like that.
I did. I'm sorry, Clef Styles. I had to. It's once a year. You know,
once a year.
Once a year, and we always bring it.
How did Halloween become the one, though?
I don't know. You either think Christmas or...
I would think Easter, because I always got a new suit on Easter.
Or St. Patrick's Day. Hell, considering who we are and what we do.
Who we are? You're the Irish motherfucker, not me. What the fuck you talking about?
I just mean, that's the day you drink.
The drinking aspect.
Yeah.
But we're going Halloween. We've been doing this now for 5 years, man. We always bring you guys something plus size.
Yep.
Right? Plus size. What's her name? Don't think of, what was that? The fat girl.
Lizzo.
Lizzo. Don't think about being Lizzo with you, but you know what plus size? Treviso. What was that? What's the name of the fat clothes store now? It's not Lane Bryant. It's Trezzy, Heavy.
Something like that. Not skinny side. Not Victoria's Secret.
Not the hot girls. Okay. Anyway, we're bringing something different for Halloween, so we're going to do that. Yeah. No emails. Matter of fact, we're going to take the emails we got this week and read them next week, and we'll explain next week to you sometime during the end of this episode.
Yeah, we'll get there.
So I got to tell. I want to do obscure shit. I don't want to talk about any more freaky shit that happened in my life. I want to talk about freaky shit that happened in other motherfuckers' life.
Ooh.
So I'm going to talk about something that's obscure. It's called the Watcher House. You ever heard of this?
I've heard a little bit about it, yeah. I have,
a little bit about it?
Okay.
June 6, 2014 in New Jersey, okay? These people, they bought this house, man. All right?
Okay.
And their name is Derek and Maria Broadus. They bought a What? What the fuck's so funny about that?
Nothing.
You thought I said broad ass? Is that what you said? Broadus. Keep your mind out together. We're trying to be respectful. This happens to these people.
Okay, sorry.
657 Boulevard is the address.
New Jersey.
In New Jersey.
Yeah, okay.
But the address is 657 Boulevard.
657.
Not Wood Boulevard, not Keith Boulevard.
Just
657 Boulevard.
Which is kind of crazy. But
Isn't that weird?
Yeah,
right off top?
It's a little strange.
So was it Boulevard Street? Was it Boulevard Drive? Was it Boulevard Way?
Just Boulevard. Boulevard.
657 Boulevard. They bought it in 2014, okay? These motherfuckers turn around and pay $1.3 million for the house. Now,
that's a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. It's probably the money you'd have right now if you didn't fuck everything that moved, including fucking pumpkins that look like anuses or vaginas. Have you seen that pumpkin?
Yeah.
Have you seen that pumpkin that looks like...
Yeah.
She looked like an orange girl that could take it, huh? That pumpkin with a little bit of applesauce.
Yeah, I see a lot of things that relate to a lot of that in my life. I have to be careful.
All right, so they bought a mansion. It's 3,900 square feet, 6 bedrooms, 3 baths, and it was built in 1910. Yeah. They bought this motherfucker, and like I said, they paid $1.3 million for it. No sign was ever put up for the house. Okay? Yeah. So nobody ever put a for sale sign up. They knew that it was going to be selling. Their real estate agent knew that real estate agent. Yep. When you're rich, and I'm going to assume white, you got connects.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
You know people. All right?
So what's the name of it again?
What's the name of what?
The Watcher House.
The Watcher House.
Okay. Oh, all right. I'll say my comment to the end okay.
Are you going to remember?
Yep, maybe. But I think so. No, it's the difference between because you said that they bought it because real estate knew real estate and white. Well, there's a difference between haunting and murdering. So if the Watcher House, if it's a haunting, then they're white. If it's a murdering, they're black.
Well, if it's a murdering, it wouldn't be $1.3 million.
No, that's true.
And if it was $1.3 million, there'd be 16 different families lived in there because it'd be fucking sectioned off into different shit. That's just the way America runs.
True. And that's why I say it's a murdering versus a haunting. But I digress. Continue.
But then they turn around and they say, you know what? We're going to take $100,000. We're going to remodel the place because this is how we get down.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. So they're remodeling the place because they don't like the way it gets down.
Okay.
All right, I mean, the fucking house was built in 1910. I'm sure it's gonna.
It's got some cracks.
All right, now they
need some paint.
They closed on the house. You got to understand this. They closed on the house on June 6th.
6/6.
Okay. Ooh, I never even thought of that. So it's 6/6/2014. Okay, which is sevens, but we'll do that. It should be better if it was 6/6/2012. But anyway, they closed on the house on June 6th. They get a letter on June 9th. Postmarked June 4th. Now, remember, they closed on the house on June 6th.
Right.
Because you don't get a house until you close on that motherfucker. Remember how tight your fucking ass is and how cramped your toes are waiting for a house? And you're like, oh, I closed today. That means it's yours. When you go in and sign all those 48 fucking papers.
Yep.
Right? So anybody will listen, or that listens that still lives in an apartment, first of all, grow the fuck up and buy the house. Okay? Unless you live in New York, I feel your pain, right?
True.
But when you close on a house, that's the fucking go-to move. So they got a letter postmarked 2 days before the day they closed, and it showed up on the 9th, okay? And this is what the letter says. Dearest new neighbor of 657 Boulevard, allow me to welcome you to the neighborhood. 657 has been the subject of my family for decades now, and as it approaches its 110th birthday, I have been put in charge of watching and waiting for the second coming. My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s, and my father watched the house in the 1960s. It is now my time.
So third generation watcher.
Do you know the history of the house? Do you know what lies within the walls of 657 Boulevard? Why are you here? I will find out. Do you need to fill the house with the young blood I requested? Better for me. Was your old house too small for the growing family, or was it greed to bring you and your children? Once I know their names, I will call out to them and draw them to me. 657 Boulevard is anxious for you to move in. It has been years and years since the young blood ruled the hallways of the house. Have you found all the secrets it holds yet? Will the young blood play in the basement, or are they too afraid to do it alone? I would be very afraid if I were them. It is away from the rest of the house. If you were upstairs, you would never hear their screams. Will they sleep in the attic, or will you all sleep on the second floor, who has 2 bedrooms facing the street? I'll know as soon as you move in. It'll help me to know who is in which room. Then I can plan better. All of the windows and doors in 657 Boulevard allow me to watch you and track you as you move throughout the house. Who am I? I am the Watcher, and I have been in control of 657 Boulevard for the better part of 2 decades. The Woods family, the Woods family, as you sit there, the Woods family turned it over to you. It was their time to move on, and they kindly sold it when I asked them to. I pass by many times a day. 657 Boulevard is my job, my life, my obsession. And now you are too, Broda's family. Welcome to the product of your greed. Greed is what brought the past 3 families to 657 Boulevard, and now it has brought you to me. Have a happy moving in day. You know I will be watching. Signed, The Watcher. Now, they got this letter in the fucking mailbox.
3 days after they signed.
Handwritten. They got it. No, you got to remember. They signed. It was postmarked on the 4th.
Right.
They closed on the 6th.
But then they got it on the 9th.
They got it on the 9th.
Yeah, so they got it 3 days after they moved.
But 2 days before they fucking closed on it.
Yeah.
This fucking freak is talking about their kids and what's in the fucking walls?
Yeah.
How do you approach that, Wood? What do you do with that?
First of all, I'm going back to the previous family, and I'm going to say, why did you move?
Right, and they did that.
Why'd you move?
They asked the Woods, which is you and the rest of your ilk.
Yeah, but it's not like we're going to tell you, but you can ask.
But the Woods said they got 1 letter, but only 1 letter, and the letter was like some rambling bullshit, and they was just like, all right, whatever, rambling bullshit, and they threw it away. Fuck you, I'm moving anyway. You know what I mean? But they weren't too concerned about the letter. Was it
a letter for them to stay, that they should stay, or was it a letter when they first moved in?
No, it was a letter just talking shit. It wasn't when they first moved in. It was like 2 months before they actually sold out the house.
Okay.
All right. They called the cops on this shit. All right.
Okay.
And the cops are like, yo, whatever. What the fuck you want me to do with this?
About it?
What do you want me to do with this?
Yeah.
So you got a letter, somebody talking about young blood and what's in the walls? I don't know, punch a hole in the wall. Maybe there's $1 million in there.
Maybe there's young blood in the wall. I don't know.
And plus it's New Jersey. New Jersey cops like, I got better things to deal with right now.
Have you checked the news lately?
Yeah. All right.
We got stuff going on.
They still haven't moved into the house, but
What? This was
2014.
And they haven't moved in?
They still haven't moved in yet. No. We're in 2014
Oh,
right now.
okay. Sorry.
So take your ass back to 2014 when you only had, I don't know, 28 kids.
Yep, got it. I'm in there.
All right. So this is 2014. They still haven't moved in, but there's a neighborhood party. And people know they're going to move in.
Yeah.
So they invite them over to the party.
Okay.
And there's some new neighbors that are going to move in. And they're like, oh, you have the nicest house on the block. $1.3 million.
Well,
you have the nicest house on the block. Can we get a tour of it? And they're like, yeah, come on over. We'll show you the house, empty house. And they're walking in, and these morons give this fucking tour to the fucking neighbors, right? And the neighbors use the term young blood.
Oh.
Now, unless you're a black fucking pimp from the 1970s, what the fuck are you doing using the term young blood?
I don't know.
I've never heard that from anybody without an afro. Without an afro, a butterfly cloud, a pleather coat, not leather, pleather coat, and bell bottoms.
Well, because if it rains, you want to roll off.
You want it to roll off, man. So when somebody uses the term youngblood, that makes me fucking a little nervous. So right there's my suspect. So as soon as he says youngblood, for me, in my mind, I punch him in the fucking mouth.
Yeah.
And I apologize later. We'll deal with that later.
We're going to sit down and have a discussion at the very least.
Yeah, let me see. Let me see you type a letter.
Hey,
what the fuck you know? Hey.
So, but didn't you say it was a handwritten letter?
It was typed.
Oh.
It was typed.
Okay. I want you to type these things, and then just I don't know. See how you type. I don't know something.
Right.
Yeah, but we're gonna discuss this.
We need to have that fucking discussion.
Nobody uses that phrase.
Nobody uses that, man. So some of these letters talk about their kids and the names and nicknames. He talks about when he ran the halls. And him and his granddad and his father watching the house, all right? And he wants to talk about what you find in the walls. So 2 weeks later, they get a fucking another letter.
Oh.
Okay? They still haven't moved in yet because the guys are renovating the fucking house.
Right.
This is the second letter. 657 Boulevard is anxious for you to move in. It has been years since the young blood ruled the hallways of the house. Have you found all of the secrets it holds yet? Will the young blood play in the basement? Or are they too afraid? Did I read this already? To go down there alone.
No, not the basement part.
All right. Go down there alone. I would be very afraid if I were them. It is far away from the rest of the house. If you're upstairs, you would not hear them scream. I did read that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who has the bedrooms facing it? I'll know as soon as you move in. There's a better plan, blah, blah, blah. 657. Okay, hang on. Here it is. I pass by many times a day. 657 Boulevard is my job, my life, my obsession, and now you are too, right? Okay. The next letter said, because I fucked up because I'm drinking. We didn't even talk about Snaggles this week.
Yeah, that's okay.
Does it matter?
No.
All right. 657 Boulevard is turning on me. It is coming after me. I don't understand why. What spell did you put on it? It used to be my friend, and now it's my enemy. I am in charge of 657 Boulevard. It is not in charge of me. I will tend off its bad things and wait for it to become good again. It will not punish me. I will rise again. I will be patient and I will wait for this to pass. And if you bring the young bloods back to me, 657 Boulevard needs young blood. It needs to be young again. It needs you. Come back. Let the young blood play again, like I once did. Let the young blood sleep in 657 Boulevard. Stop changing it and let it alone. Signed, The Watcher.
That's because they're renovating it.
Yeah, right. And it's pissing them off.
Yeah.
They're changing the shit. Who's the fucking freak, right? Who's the fucking freak that is doing this shit, man? Right?
Is that a neighbor across the street next door?
So what they did is they looked. There was a neighbor next door. He was 60, his mom was 90, and they thought it was him.
Oh, okay.
But it turned out not to be him. They sent him a letter saying, "Oh, we're gonna tear down the house and shit." And see if he fucking freaked out and send another letter. He's like, I don't give a fuck. The fuck you looking at me for?
Why do I care?
So,
is it gonna ruin my house value? Yeah.
So the letter that they had, they tested DNA on it.
Oh wow.
Okay.
So they should know.
But what they put it against was his sister, not his 90-year-old mother. Like 90-year-olds don't have spit. You know what I mean? So they did it against his sister. It wasn't a match. They didn't do it against the mother. But behind that house, they had some neighbors. They had a view of the terrace because I guess the daughter used to sit out there and paint. And one of the watcher letters talks about her out there painting and shit. And it was hard to see from anywhere but the backyard. Now, the backyard was weird because they had a long backyard and a slope up. And there was 2 chairs sitting inordinately close to the fence facing the house. So they could see a lot of shit. but they knew the kids' names, they knew the nicknames, they knew all the shit. So could they hear it from the house? I mean, it is New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
So you got loud talkers like me.
Yeah.
You know.
But to pick up on all of that,
mm-hmm.
that seems, I don't know, man. It seems a bit much like, because you're saying it's not the one across the street, but it's the one behind the one across the street.
Right.
And their chairs up against the fence. Now, if that one's 1.3 million or whatever you said, I imagine it's a bit of land. So the one across the street's probably also got to be the same.
Correct.
And then on past that one is also. Are you hearing that far?
I don't know. You got
the biggest thing for me is that the first letter came 2 days before they even signed.
Who's got time for this shit is the biggest thing for me.
I don't know.
The biggest thing for me. My first thought with me and my formerly hairy balls, now unshaven, right? Or now shaven, right? You're like, I got big balls.
Uh-huh.
Show up, motherfucker.
Yeah, let's go.
What I mean?
Let's go.
All of us can shoot straight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Unless it's something supernatural.
But then when you talk
then
about
doesn't show up.
So you're saying fucking goblins writing these letters?
Why couldn't they?
Why couldn't they?
Why couldn't a ghost write it?
All right.
You've been to Larry's place?
You think how long is it gonna take a ghost to write a fucking letter?
Probably a while.
Decades. Right? Decades.
Yeah, I would guess. Considering the speed that they moved, sure.
But the weird part about it, we got to go back to this. The letter was sent 2 days before they closed.
Yeah, that's the biggest kicker.
So that tells me somebody down at the county commissioners.
Could be.
You know what I mean? Fucking with them.
Somebody has to know what they're all about in order to have that kind of information.
So the cops, they go back to the cops, and the cops like, we already had this discussion. Good luck. I mean, it's a letter.
Sorry.
Where's the fucking crime, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's threatening to hurt anybody. They're talking about shit in the wall. Again, have you busted the walls in? Maybe there's money there.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, check the young bloods, check that money.
Right.
Okay. There goes the walls.
Money. Check the money.
Yeah.
And if the house was built in 1910 and this is 2014, where's all the rest of the shit going on here? Why is he fucking with you? Where's the people that lived here in the 30s with their fucking... Oh, maybe it was the fucking crazy people. Maybe the granddad lived there in the 30s and he just watched it.
Maybe that's why he said he ran the halls. Maybe he did live there.
Maybe he lived there.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would check all the records of people
why
that
not?
live there. Because that's at the county assessor's building, right?
It should be.
Everybody who lived there.
Yep.
So go check that shit. But now the cops are like, oh, they're lying, right? They're lying to get out the deal of the house.
Oh, well, that's what it's for. Huh?
Again, it happened 2 days before, and why would I fuck around with $1.3 million just to fucking play a joke on you?
Right.
Oh, they're doing it to get a movie deal. Again, can I point you to $1.3 million? Can I point? Look,
what?
You got one, and then you got a comma, asshole. Yeah. Then you got a 3 and 2 zeros. Then you got another comma, asshole. Then you got 3 more fucking zeros.
What?
Why am I fucking around with that kind of money?
Yeah, if I've purchased a house for that, I don't know that I need a movie deal.
Mm-hmm. No,
I think I'm okay.
I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
And then they thought, it's insurance fraud. Insurance doesn't cover. I got a fucking jackass write me letters to my house. All right?
Nope.
So they say, fuck
Tried
it.
that.
At this point, this house isn't safe, so they move in with Maria's mother. Right? You got to remember, it's Maria and Derek. Derek, do you know I was almost named Derek?
Oh,
my mother
were.
Almost, I never told you this story?
No,
I was almost named Derek. And according to my mother, her best friend, which is a fucked up best friend, named her son Derek right before I was born. And thank God, because I've never liked many Dereks that I've ever known in my life.
I just real quick in my the Rolodex of what my brain is, I know one, and dude,
you only know one Derek?
Well, I know one that's little, like young, 6, and then I know another one that's my age, and that dude was awesome.
The one that's your age?
Yeah, he could run through walls and shit. Like, toughest dude. Not a big guy, but tough as hell.
What about the 6-year-old one?
He's 6. He's really cool. Oh, I like him.
All right.
But he's 6.
Yeah, I wouldn't have made a good Derek. I've known several Dereks.
You make a pretty good Keith or Kevin. I think I see it. It fits.
Yeah.
It fits you.
Again, I've known like a handful of Dereks that are okay, right? But never one that's like phenomenal. I mean, think about Derek Fisher. He's trying to fuck Kobe's wife.
That's true,
What I mean?
yeah.
What an asshole.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah, that Derek Fisher, no.
Yeah.
But the other Derek's, the other two that I know, I like them.
Let me put this out there for you. Derek The Rock Johnson. Sounds like an asshole, right? Doesn't sound good, does it? No, it doesn't. Derek Jordan.
It's got no ring to it.
He's fucking whack, man. So 8 months later, they choose, after living with they're paying a mortgage on a $1.3 million house. Let's just understand that. You're paying a mortgage on a $1.3 million house that you don't live in because some fucktard is sending you letters.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
So 8 months later, after living at the mother-in-law's house, who must be balling as well, because if you just bought a $1.3 million house, you're not living in no fucking $100,000 house.
No.
You're like,
nope.
Yeah, where's the Grey Poupon?
Yeah, and she's also probably saying, I need that rent.
When you get I need that rent when you're getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Go to your haunted letter house. All right. So 8 months later, they choose to sell the house, but they told me, and this is good on them. This is good on the broad ass people. Broad ass brodus. You got me doing it now.
Yeah.
They told him, hey, look, we get some fucked up letters here and there. So just so you know.
Yeah, just FYI.
Yeah, if you buy the house, you're probably going to get fucked up letters talking about young blood in the walls and staring at you, right? And people are like,
he's going to be watching you.
Thanks for telling me. We'll be right back. We're going to look at a house down the street and never come back. All right? So for 8 months later, they tried to sell the house, and like I said, they pay 1.3. So in 2017, they tried to sue the Woods. For fucking up the situation. This is 3 years later.
Wow.
I put up 4 fingers. But
you did.
Are we on video today?
Yeah, we are.
Somebody saw me go 3 years later, and then I put up.
No, well, it was over that
over
way.
Here,
so I think
good?
Yeah. Your mic actually covered it. Yeah,
so I
you added yourself. Yeah.
A full disclosure, Keith. That's who I am. Okay. So in 2017, after 3 years of owning this fucking house and paying the mortgage on a $1.3 million house, big baller.
Yeah, a long time.
All right, they tried to sue the Woods, and the Woods said, "You know what? Fuck you. We're suing you. You're going to sue me, I'm going to sue you. Defamation of character." And if they knew their lineage of the Woods, they'd be like, "Oh, yeah, you're right. We are shitty people. So what do we owe you, right?" But they went defamation of character because they're New Jersey Woods, which are, I guess, hoity-toity from the Utah Woods where you come from.
Yeah, that's hoity-toity.
And the judge was like, "You know what? Both you motherfuckers get the fuck out of here. You take your letters, go wipe your ass with them, and you take your non-disclosure shit and be a better fucking seller next time." All right? And so in 2018, after that, they finally, after all that time, this is 4 years, they rented the fucking place out.
Rented it?
Rented out. Now, I don't know if they told these motherfuckers about the letters, but they rented the fucking thing out.
Well, I think at this point, if you type it in the old Google machine, you probably pull that up.
Well, this is what the renters got. All right? Violent winds and bitter cold to the vile and spiteful Derek and his wench of a wife, Maria. Now, if you use a word like winch, all of a sudden now I'm not scared of you because it sounds like you have on a suit of armor. You know what I mean? Like you're showing up with a fucking long fucking staff and you're riding a horse and you're clinking because you come up the stairs and shit.
You got to bring your horse and
call somebody a fucking winch.
Aren't we about to joust?
Right. The fuck are you doing? You're calling me a winch, man. All right, so anyway, his wench of a wife, Maria. Maybe a car accident. Maybe a fire. Maybe something as simple as a mild illness that never seems to go away, but makes you feel sick day after day after day after day. Maybe the mysterious death of a pet. Now you got my attention.
Yeah.
You fuck with my fucking dogs?
Yeah, now we're talking.
Well, excuse me. You fuck with my dog? I got another one. I mean, you can hang out with that one if you want to. But I don't like that shit because pets are innocent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not doing anything to anybody.
Right. Maybe the mysterious death of a pet. Loved ones suddenly die. Planes and cars and bicycles crash. Bones break. Tell that cocksucker Derek. No, I added that. Tell that cocksucker Derek and his bitch-ass wife Maria. I added both of those. Because you want to modern it out.
Yeah.
Get out the fucking house, right?
Yeah.
But no, that's the one the renters got. And the renters handed it to him, right? And said, this is all they said. Can we get some cameras up around here? I'm moving.
Yeah, no.
First and last month written deposit.
So
you can keep that shit.
Yeah, so
Homie's gone.
Yeah, Mr. Watcher went from I'm just gonna send you weird emails about young blood in the walls.
Right.
Or letters rather, and to they learned some poetry and have put that now into now they're trying now it's threatening.
He's a little hyperbolic though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're trying to be. I imagine it's somebody around also trying to like making pour tea and sipping on it out of a coffee cup, trying to write poetry to scare a neighbor.
And they smoke a pipe.
Yeah,
they got one of those long Sherlock Holmes pipes, right? And they're sitting there and they fucking light it and calling people winches, right? Yeah, right. But then one of the letters says, all it says is, "Turn around, you idiots! You've never looked into the house. Behind them, see the walls." All right, whatever. So
Somebody's off their meds.
Time goes on. I think it's 2020. They end up selling the house for $900,000.
Okay.
Take a $400,000 loss, and people are still saying they did all this. Holy shit! To get a movie deal. Why would I try and get a movie deal and pay $400,000 for that movie deal? Because that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And there was something up there. I don't know if it was a neighborhood fucking prank. Maybe they parked on the fucking grass because I don't understand people to park on their fucking lawn.
I don't either.
Right? But we see that shit.
Yeah,
It's just how it is now.
Yeah.
All right.
If I didn't have a lawn, I would park on it.
So maybe they came in parking on the lawn. Maybe they had, I don't know, a loud party. Maybe they're not telling the whole story because we only got one side of the story.
That is true.
So maybe they showed up and had like a paint party and they had, they're blaring fucking Two Live Crew out there or fucking Limp Bizkit or some shit. 2014, you still play Limp Bizkit, wouldn't you?
No, I don't think so.
No, all right.
Limp Bizkit, I think, is like early 2000s.
Creed? What would you play in 2014? Train?
I don't honestly know.
What kind of song would make you go, what the fuck are you listening to in 2014?
I don't know, 311?
Even better. There you go, 311. All right.
Because what are you doing?
There's two sides to every story is what I'm saying. So whatever happened here, I mean, I believe it happened because nobody's going to fuck with $400,000.
No,
You know what I mean?
I know. I believe that. I wholeheartedly believe that they were getting those letters, and the letters came, and the renters they came to them. I'm not sure that I believe the Woodses that it didn't happen to them. They just powered through that. How long were the Woodses in the house?
It doesn't say. I mean, you tell me.
Well, I'm not going to say that either.
All right.
And I'm not going to say that they may be responsible for that shit too.
But that's the Watcher House. That shit actually happened, guys. Research it yourself for a better rendition of it.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best, and I didn't drink
good.
that much, but still my mouth is dry, so I look to the devastation. I need to rephrase that. I look to the devastation beer. Is what I look to.
Yeah. That was, I don't know what that was.
You heard that too? It's the Watcher. It's the fucking Watcher.
He's just doing things
Yeah.
at this point. Yeah. So I decided for my snaggles for this and next week is Arnold Palmer. It's a spiked iced tea and lemonade. And I did this
Okay.
because I got to keep my wits about me just a little bit.
Okay. All right. Yeah, good. Okay. Okay. What?
Nothing.
Arnold Palmer, yes.
It's exactly what it is. So let me tell you a little story.
Please.
So you wanted to find something
Obscure.
Yes. I decided, and I tried, and I feel like I'm gonna go Freaky Tales Part 2.
Oh shit. Okay.
If you want to know Freaky Tales Part 1, go back and look at Freaky Tales.
That's our first year.
That is.
That was some fucked up shit. Huh?
Yeah, we got a lot of disgruntled emails about that one. That's when our emails were just starting to pop off, and that's what that one kicked it through the roof.
I got personal texts on that talking about that's fucked up. That's fucked up. Why'd you never tell me that story?
Yeah.
Because as I told it to Wood, it made the hair in the back of my bald ass head stand directly up.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna go Freaky Tales, Freaky Tales Part 2. So let me tell you. So this is circa 96, 97. Now this is a few years after the original Freaky Tales was born.
Okay.
So if you remember back to that, and those of you that the longtime listeners, I know that you remember this. I messed with some demon stuff, some stuff out of this world.
Ouija board shit?
Ouija board stuff as well. So I was a bit younger than I am back then than I am now, and that makes sense. But when I was younger like that, like most punk kids, I thought I was untouchable. I thought nothing can scare me. I'd been through just a few years before that a really scary situation, and it scared me.
One you haven't talked about.
Mostly the Freaky Tales, some other stuff in between, but
Okay.
I still thought I was invisible. I'm a young kid. Like,
Sure.
who isn't,
Sure.
But that's at least what I'm telling myself. So, here I am now I'm a little older teen, and as kids do, as teens do during Halloween, you try and find ways to scare each other, or you watch scary movies, and you want to do that. For me, the scary shows and that kind of stuff doesn't do it for me. For me, what I need is like the paranormal. Something that's real but not real, but maybe real, maybe not. I don't know. That's what I'm intrigued by.
Yo, there's nothing that can keep you from that, though. You fuck with that. Even if you go to jail,
yeah,
that shit will find you. Why would you fuck with that?
Well, because that's the kind of kid I was.
All right.
And I know some of our listeners don't believe in it, and some of them do wholeheartedly. So this is to both of you because I don't really care. It's my story.
Mm-hmm.
So as young kids growing up, this is before internet, cell phones. You had to just listen to the lore and the tales from family and friends and neighbors about things that you see or that they saw, and then you kind of had to go out and research it on your own. But you told this lore to scare each other. The light, it's dark. It's Halloween time, so you're telling stories, different things like that.
Okay.
So it's a mood to get you kind of frightened, because at night and when it's dark is when it's the most scary.
Yes.
So it's the freaky tales. So one night, me and a group of friends, we went out on the town to see if we could scare each other, or more specifically, the girls that we were with.
Yeah.
You get them scared, and I'm not a big fan of haunted houses. I think they're kind of boring because I know they're not real and they can't touch you except for the ones that can touch you, and then even then it's fake and it's stupid shit.
Yeah, you're the one that doesn't want to go to that. What is it, McCaney Manor?
Yeah, because it's fear
you
factor.
Want to go there 'cause it's fun.
Yeah,
so how old are you at this time?
I'm like 17, maybe 18,
right.
Between 16 and 19. Let's call it that.
Gotcha.
I can't remember exact years, but I think it was about 17.
Okay.
So we get this little group of us, and in Salt Lake City, there's plenty of little nooks you can go that have like haunted stories.
Uh-huh.
And so we're like, well, let's go try this out. First place you go to, what's the first scary place that you would go to? A cemetery. So that's where we go.
I don't fuck with that, man.
Well, yeah, but it's the Salt Lake Cemetery. It's the oldest in the state.
Oh, yeah.
There's some old grave sites. Back then, it was a lot darker. Now it's a lot more lit, and they make it a little more friendly. Back then, it was just like...
How the fuck do you make a cemetery friendly?
With more lights and more roads and more, like, flowers and shit? I don't know.
You have a fucking fun house out there? Somebody with snow cones and shit? I mean, it's never friendly, man.
No, but it's like, hey, you can come in and it's okay. But back then, it was... Hey, the lights go out, stay away.
Yeah,
assholes.
I do remember those days.
Don't come in here. And so we go there because there's a few old lures from back in the day in Salt Lake.
Okay.
So there's one, for example, this lady, her headstone is labeled, it has her name, and then it says Victim of the Beast 666.
What? You saw that?
Yeah, that's in the Salt Lake City Cemetery. Says,
wait, what year was she dead?
It was like 1940s.
That's an exorcism, huh?
Yeah, so it's 666. So then they talked to her husband, who died, I believe, in 59, and they like, what happened? And he gives all sorts of crazy stories, that, like all sorts of random ones. She was taken by the devil, that she overdosed, that she committed suicide because of the devil, and different things.
Okay.
So we set out to find that. When you find it, his grave, on the other hand, I believe his name is Elmer. And so there's two myths that go along with his. The first one is that people would leave alcohol at his, and the grave keepers or whatever they are, the cleaners, they clean it every day, every night.
Yeah.
And every day following, it's always back. The alcohol never leaves.
So nobody brought it up. That would just
shows
be
up.
there.
Yeah, it just shows up.
All right.
The second one I'll talk about in just a second.
I would like to go to that bar where alcohol is
it just never
constantly
goes away.
refilled. I would love to be there. So good on Elmer.
There's also one because it is when like a lot of pioneers came into Utah, a lot of kids.
Okay.
So there's lore that a lot of children, you hear a lot of children's voices and running around of children in that cemetery at night. The next is Emo, who's actually Jacob E. Morowitz, who is the most famous Jewish Utahn to own any and run alcohol in Utah.
Okay, all right.
I don't know where you were going, but he was Jewish and created one of the first distilleries in Utah, and it took off. And then he took up 3 or 4 other states and created this huge business of alcohol in Utah. Back then, alcohol wasn't a thing in Utah, but he owned the corner on it. So he dies. They bring his ashes back. They build a what is that? A mausoleum?
Yes.
Around him.
Mm-hmm.
And so what the story is behind that. There's a couple different variations, but when I was a kid, it was if you went up with like a lighter or a candle and you walked around his mausoleum, and then as you reapproached it, his 2 red eyes would stare back at you.
Why would look? Let me tell you something right now. If you told me if I go to a cemetery up there and I fucking drink a beer, do a cartwheel, and sing Billie Jean, and fucking Satan was gonna show up, I get back in my car.
I'd probably do it.
See, that's the problem with you. Why do I need to do this fucking mixture? Are you a Bloody Mary in the mirror person?
I've tried it.
You've done the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't even want to hear about that.
Yeah, I do have stories about that. Maybe we got Halloween coming up next year.
We're going.
But not this one. Okay, so that's one of his. So the other part of the Elmer one, aside from the alcohol, is that it is said that if you visit those, his and Succumb to the Beast, 666, and then as you're leaving, you'll see a man walking the side of the road. But if you try and stop and talk to him, or if you turn back to go get him, he'll disappear. So you can't see him. He's a ghost, essentially. That's Elmer, and he's still roaming the cemetery, keeping an eye on. He's guarding it or whatever he's doing. So,
does he have a hand that's a hook? And if I go and try and bang a teenage girl when I'm a teenager,
he's got bees coming out of
so when I was a teenager, and if I tried to bang another teenager up there, and I'd go home and it'd be a hook on the door.
Yeah, that's like that one. Yeah, but I'll tell you what, the cemetery now is a lot more visited at night than it was back then. I promise you that. So we drive to the cemetery. We hit all these attractions, right?
Okay. Attractions.
Because that's what I called them.
Fuck you at Disney World, man.
Yeah. So it's kind of on a hill, and it's a big cemetery, but it's on a hill.
It's huge.
And so Mark of the Beast and the street at the very top are where all this supposedly occurs. So we're up there. There's a group of about 6 to 8 of us, and we start, this is nothing. This is stupid, boring. There's no alcohol bottle, which then all of a sudden, this doesn't even count. So we start walking back, and it's quiet, and it's a calm night. It's a few days before Halloween, so it's not quite Halloween, but it's this time of year, so it's cool, but there's no wind, and leaves are on the ground and that. So as we're walking, we stop to chit-chat, and as I sit here now with you, we stop, and what do I hear?
Crickets.
Kids. I'm like, that's weird. No, it's got to be houses, because there's the cemetery, but there's houses all around. But it's like midnight, 1 a.m. It can't be kids. So we just kind of blow it off. So we keep walking, and I hear it again. We all stop.
Just like kids playing?
Yeah, like kids playing, like out in like at a recess or something. You go by an elementary and you hear the kids at recess. You're like, what? This is kind of weird. So we think about that. We keep walking. Well, that fades as we get further down the hill because we're parked at the bottom because we didn't know where all these grave sites were, so we had to walk the damn thing. And young, I could do that and not be tired. Plus, I was with a girl, so if I'm going to do whatever she's asking. So we're walking, and I hear crunch, crunch, crunch. I'm like, okay, that's just somebody behind me. It's cool. I turn and look, and I realize that I'm the last one of the pack. Most of my pack's moving kind of fast. It's a cemetery. It's in the middle of the night. Okay, that's my own echoing of my... So I keep walking up, and I hear...
Fuck.
And I stop, and I can look over my shoulder. That's coming from behind me. Keith, the crunching is behind me.
Yeah.
And the girl that I'm with, she keeps walking, and I'm looking back, and I'm going, this doesn't feel right.
Okay.
So I look ahead, and the group isn't quite jogging, but they're not walking slow. They've picked up their pace, and now they're quite a ways ahead of me, and I'm going, oh shit, I better catch up. So I start to kind of trot, jog, and as I'm going, right behind me.
Oh, fuck this, man.
So now I'm almost in my car, and I'm almost at a sprint, and I just get in. I get to the car, and the 4 of us in a car.
Yeah.
And did you guys hear that? They're like, we just figured it was you. I said, that's not me.
Yeah. Why were you walking so fucking fast?
Yeah, why are you guys ahead of me? And they just, we kind of harass each other. We play it off to, it's your imagination.
Cool. Start the car. We can do all this.
So we started up. So I'm like, okay, we're done with this place. I can't do it. I felt eerie. I felt like someone was following me, someone was watching me.
Yeah.
Plus, I had the experience of the freaky tales in my bag, and I'm like, this isn't good. Let's get the hell out of here. So we go. And what do we do next? Well, Memory Grove. Have you heard of Memory Grove,
Yes.
Utah? Also haunted.
Yes.
So they're like, let's go to Memory Grove. I'm like,
After that?
Yeah. It's Halloween. I'm trying to do. I got a thing going.
You don't pay attention.
No. So Memory Grove. I think what could be worse? It's We just left a cemetery. Memory Grove is just a place
Park,
for memories. Yeah, it's a park. It has these little monuments and different things to remember people and stuff like that. So we're already spooked out just a little bit. And we go, but we end up going just below where Memory Grove sits. And so we go to this like little parking area, and there's like a little trailhead.
Yeah.
And so from Memory Grove, you can get through that trail. Well, I can't anymore. I don't know. I haven't been there because of this. I haven't gone back. But
because of what you're about to tell me, you haven't been back.
No, I have not. So you could cut through this little trailhead, which was into like a little foresty thing, maybe 100 yards long, not long. So we parked there. We're like, okay, it's 100 yards. We could get through this. Not a big deal. So we start walking, and it's the group of us.
Okay.
We get about 50 yards in, so about halfway, and some are like, this feels eerie. It gets dark because there's trees. You can't see any lighting from the city.
It was the girls that said this.
Yeah. Well, me and my little group were like, we got this. We could push through. We're just gonna keep on going. And we press on. So half the group leaves and they go up and around, and then the other half of us, we press through and we go and cut on through. And it's only about 100 yards. So I don't know, how long does 100 yards take you to walk through briskly? I don't know, a couple of minutes maybe.
Two and a half minutes.
We'll call it 5 tops.
Okay.
So as we start to get to the end of this grove, or not this grove, this little thing of trees, this trail. It gets really, really cold. Now, it's not super cold in October here, but it can, so I don't think anything of it, but I realized it got really cold.
Like you
could see your breath.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, shit.
Like, oh, wow, that dropped.
And you keep going the same way?
Well, we were already almost done, so we just pushed through. We make it out to the end, we look back, and now it looks like a dark tunnel, like there's no end on the other side. Like we just walked through some kind of vortex thing. So now we start to walk up to the grove, and we're already shaking from everything before, so we start. And you have to cut through like these. There's like a small row of houses. They're tiny little houses, like 2-bedroom houses.
Okay, listen to what you said. You have to cut through them. You don't have to cut through them. You could turn around and go the other fucking way, but do tell.
Yeah.
Do tell.
Yeah. So as we're cutting through them, our group meets us kind of on the other side. And they say, what took you so long? I'm confused. We're like, what are you talking about? They're like, we've been here for 20 minutes. And I said,
you went through a fucking vortex.
And I said, no. Of course, now I don't have a watch. I don't wear a watch. I'm a kid. And I'm like, no, it only took us like 3 to 5 minutes. They're like, no, we've been here for 20 minutes, and you guys just came out. What have you been doing?
Oh, shit.
And I said,
it was you and who? You and the girl?
Me, a girl, and another guy, and his girl. And the 4 of us.
What do you ask me? What was I doing?
Yeah. And I said, no. I said, we came right through. What are you talking about?
You said, smell my finger. I wasn't doing anything.
No, if I had, I would have owned up to that. I got no problem. Be like, see this here?
Tell him, girl. Tell him. I give you the best 58 seconds of your life.
Did you see why her hair's not still done up? Anyway, but I'm like, no, it took me from here to here, and that's what, and they're like, no, it took 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. Like, it took you guys forever. We've been sitting here waiting. Okay, whatever. I figured they're playing a joke on me. So it doesn't matter. We keep walking. We go into the Grove because the Grove's a beautiful place.
Yes.
If you've ever been there.
Been there in the daytime.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place.
Uh-huh.
So the story behind that is that there's a lady back in 1930, I think it was driving to her wedding and was killed in a car crash. Mm-hmm. And she died in her wedding dress. So she roams that Grove at night. And she'll come around, and she doesn't really bother anybody. She just is there. She exists. This has been documented. Many, many people have seen her and have approached. Like, she's out there.
Okay.
I can't remember her name. But we go into the Grove either way because we're there to scare each other, of course. And as we're looking at the different monuments, there's another girl that we're with. We kind of spread out just a little bit. You know, everyone's kind of doing their thing. There's this other girl that we're with, and she freezes, and she's staring off, just kind of looking off in the distance to the north, and I'm going, well, that's weird. So I walk up to her, and I'm looking the way she's looking, but she's looking like She's frozen. She's terrified, and she's staring in that direction, not moving, not saying anything, not blinking.
Okay.
I'm like, well, this is weird. So I grab her shoulder, and she jerks back and kind of jumps. You know, like if someone comes behind touching you.
Scares you.
Whoa, what? She's like, did you see that? I said, what are you talking about? She's like, we need to go, and we need to go right now.
That's all I need to hear.
And I'm right there with you. I could feel the fear in her voice. And I'm like, let's go. So in that moment, we ran.
Yeah.
Nobody said anything after she said that. We ran.
Right.
Ran I was terrified. I'm not going to lie. So we ran. Nobody really knew the direction we were. We just all ran back the way we came, and we all split up. Everyone was scattered. Some people are faster than the others. I was leaving that girl behind. I'm like, I'm sorry. You're on your own this time. You know where the car is. I'll have it running. Meet me.
You better than me. I would have pushed somebody down. Trying to get the fuck out of here, and you get caught.
So we're running, and I was faster back then, and I'm running. I cut through these two houses. And you know those wind chimes that hang? And now remember, I said, this is a dead night. It's no wind, anything. These wind chimes are going like somebody's shaking them. And that terrifies me even more. Yeah. So I think there's only 2 houses before you hit the grove and then the road on the other side. You know, the second house, and they have a rocking chair out front. That bitch is rocking. And I remember thinking in that moment, this feels like a horror movie. I'm about to get killed.
You stupid fuck. You already went to the cemetery. What the fuck are you doing out here?
Running is what I'm doing. So I'm running. It's rocking. And I'm gone.
To be young and dumb again.
Yeah,
man.
So I'm running, and I remember thinking the quickest way I can get to my car is back through that damn trail.
Vortex.
I have to go to it. So I start running. I'm on a full sprint, and I'm about, 25, 30 feet away, not far. And I see somebody there. And I'm like, okay, I could just run past them, maybe yell at them like, hey, tell my friends, whatever. And then as I'm getting closer, I can see that this person it's not an actual person. They're not touching the ground. It's a figure there. And so I say, nuh-uh, not doing this. I'm not doing this. So in my mind, I think to myself, if I cut just over enough, I can run through the trees and bypass this thing. So as I start to turn this way,
So not a trail. You're just going to run through the trees.
I'm just going to run straight through the trees. Okay. I'll risk the branches, the rocks, whatever else is on there. I don't know. It could have been a river. So I turn and I start running that way, and this thing just like follows my path. Just in front of me. Moves over. Like, oh shit, it's following me.
Yeah.
Now what do I do? So I'm almost there, and in my mind I'm like, okay, I just survived Freaky Tales. I'm not going to do this again. If I touch that thing, I'm dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I make a hard turn, and I run up and back around, and I come in.
When you say up and back around, you make a U-turn?
Yeah, so, more like an L turn, and I shoot straight across, because you can run across that over to where the original parking lot is.
So instead of running parallel to where the trail was, you just said, fuck it, I'm going up out the tree, perpendicular.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm out of here.
Okay.
So I run across, I cut across another street, and then I go down. It was the long way around that our friends had taken. As we cut through and they went around, it was that path. So I ended up cutting back around.
That's super tramp. Take the long way home.
Yeah.
All right. My mind works in songs. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I run back, I cut around, and at this point, I've lost everybody. I don't know where any of my friends are. I'm all alone.
Who's got the keys is all I want to know.
I had them. It was my car.
Good on you.
So I run back to the car, and now I lose sight of whatever that figure of that being is, and I run over there, I jump in my car, I shut the door, I lock it, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to wait here. As soon as they are here, because I know that they're running, they're going to come and knock on this door in a panic. I'm going to open it up, and we're going to get the hell out of here.
Yes.
So I sit in my car. Nothing comes.
Is the car running?
Yeah, it's running. Because it's a little chilly, too. And,
but you want to
and I'm terrified.
Gas, yep.
And I'm like, okay, they'll be here. They'll be here. It felt like an hour goes by. Eventually, I see this group of my friends walking up.
Walking?
Just walking. Jovial, happy, joking. They're in good spirits. So I get out of my car. I'm like, let's go. What the hell are you doing? And they look at me, and they're like, you're crazy. What are you talking about?
What's your problem?
And I say, we just ran. Which way did you guys go, and why are you in such good spirits? And they're like, no. We didn't go anywhere. What are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, this whole thing. So I re-explain how this girl I saw this. You need to run. And I did. And they're like, no, we saw you over there talking to somebody.
Oh, shit.
And they said, all of a sudden you took off running. We looked at you, and we tried to call out to you, like, hey, where are you going? And you just kept running. And they're like, we had no idea what the hell's happening. We thought you were pulling a prank on us, and we thought you'd come back. You didn't ever come back, so we were like, well, we better go find him. And there I sat in the car waiting, having this experience.
For about an hour.
Having this experience all by myself. And they thought I was just crazy. I knew what I saw. I knew who I talked to, and I knew she was there. She's like, I wasn't even by you. I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you think that was?
I don't know, but to this day, I swear to you this happened. And I have not been back to that memory grove since then. I will not mess with it.
No, I believe you. That shit is fucking off kilt. Yo, so what you had is what do they call it? Doppelganger, right?
Yeah, it could have been anything.
And then the spirit in front of you trying to fucking block your way and shit. Look, that's what you get. That's what I'm gonna say. You go to fucking cemetery and you deal with that. You know when you take your ass after that? You take your ass to McDonald's and you talk about that. But no, I want to one-up it.
Yeah.
Let's go somewhere else. And that's why your ass was out there sweating in the fucking cold out there.
Yeah.
Like a fucking fugitive. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is the story of Salt Lake City.
When you tell stories like that, does it make your heart?
It does. It gives me the chills.
Put you back there, huh?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it terrifies me. That story, Freaky Tales, terrifies me for a different reason. That one because, like, it got into my psyche, like, got into my mind and messed with my reality. And there are people that were with me that saw that change in 5 minutes to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was different. So in my mind, when I look back at it, it was going through that and realizing that time shift that whatever I was talking to in the Grove had something to do with that. Now I wonder, I just got the chills again. What if I had gone back through that? What if I would have gone back through that, pushed through and gone back through that trailhead again? What would have happened there?
Who knows?
I don't know. I didn't risk it.
I can't believe you and your fucking inquisitive, crazy, goofy, weird ass hasn't gone back there at least in the daytime.
No. There's certain things that I've experienced, and we've talked Freaky Tales, and now this. I need to experience it once, and then that's all I need to know that I don't ever need to experience it ever again in my life.
See Graveyard for experiencing it once. But, I mean, I'll let you tell your story the way you tell it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Freaky Tales style. Is that what you're saying?
That is what I'm saying. Guys, I really got nothing. Just send us your emails. Let us know about your.
You got nothing. You had a lot. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, I ran it all out. I drained it all right here. You know,
we got Tiger Claw Tattoo. We got MVP jersey framing. We got
the H Cube.
H Cube. We also on Ask Radio.
Yep.
Check all that shit out, man. We the bomb. Your mom is the not. I don't know what I was trying to rhyme. I was trying to do a Snoop Dogg freestyle.
It sounded good, but I got to tell you this, Keith. On this eve of All Hallows Eve, it was a pleasure.
We out.